So recently, the supposedly but not really right-wing grift circle has gone completely bananas. Be it the champion of free speech Jordan, I cry like a woman 10 times a day, but let me teach you how to be a man, Peterson, being so butthurt by mean words on the internet underneath his videos, wanting everyone with an anonymous Twitter account banned and thrown in jail. Or Andrew Tate tweeting from his Romanian prison cell crying about false accusations, despite the fact everyone at this stage having seen at least one video clip of the hundreds available of him detailing and laying out how he commits the crimes he's accused of on someone's podcast. The whole weird circle is, to a normal person looking in, completely insane. Who is taking notice and believing any of this nonsense? Well, the thing is, for a grift to work is you can say whatever you want and a percentage of people will always believe you, and that's what these people rely on. They need the dumbest people on the planet to listen and, more importantly, believe what they are saying is the cure to whatever ill they are selling. And it works. It's a story as old as time. They used to do it through physical means like snake oil. Now they do it through the thought that lurking around every corner a leftist is about to turn your kid trans, or that not having a rented Bugatti and a harem of camgirls desperate to escape means you're gay. But if you give $50 a month, you can join the scam university and smash mad pussy, bro. You're definitely not a slayer if you do that. And one of the guys who has cultivated the stupidest audience imaginable is Timpool. This is a man so incredibly dumb he thought Trump was going to win every state in the 2020 election. This is a man who thinks civil war is about to start every second of the day. Every single one of his videos is about potentially funny subjects, but with a slant that means America is on the brink of collapse at all times. Oh, and he also thinks musical megastar's Muse ripped off his terrible music. Yeah, Timpool does music now, and it's so bad he has to buy ads to get anyone to watch it. But yeah, Muse is watching your music videos to get hints and tips, bro. But Timpool is the worst of all these grifters by far. He is the one who has pivoted in the most extreme way of manipulating his dumb audience into believing the world is ending and everything is terrible, and he is on a quest to save everyone so long as you click the link and send super chats. When in fact, he's just a midwit with a podcast who loves the sound of his own voice so much he ruins his own show time and time again by talking over the potentially interesting guests he has on instead of letting them speak. But Tim might have the delivery of the grift down to a T. Rile low IQ people up into a state of permanent outrage? Check. Get them to think giving him money will change anything other than giving him more money for beanies? Check. But Tim has one fatal flaw, and it's laziness. Now Tim likes to champion people and build them up. Who can forget Jack Murphy? Now just looking at this guy with his effeminate voice and lisp and big gay beard might suggest he might not be the best person to promote as a manliness guru, but he wrote a book called From Democrat to Deplorable, so that's good enough for Tim. Obviously that didn't turn out so well, as Jack Murphy turned out to be a gay cam whore who shoved dildos up his ass for loose change. But that wasn't until he had spent months as a regular guest on Timpool's podcast telling everyone how he was going to make everyone super masculine, and if you joined the seminar order for thousands of dollars, he would come and have a manly brunch and mimosas with you. Okay, so everyone makes mistakes. Obviously Timpool would learn about the value of background checks and not to be so lazy next time, even if the grift the person is offering fits your own scam perfectly and you can make money off them, right? Here's Eliza Bleu, someone who fits so perfectly into the latest grift the right wing have, which is screaming about human trafficking and how everyone's getting kidnapped and raped by crazed leftists if you're not careful. They're out there and they'll probably get you if you don't super chat Timcast IRL right now. You're probably being ass fucked right now because you didn't sign up to timcast.com. Sucks to be you. But Eliza's grift fits so perfectly into this particular scam, it's like someone made it all up. But that couldn't possibly be. So Timpool promotes and champions her and a harrowing tale. The world needs to know about all this stuff. Well, Eliza Bleu was found out to be making everything up. I have a separate video documenting that on this channel. You can go watch that to get up to speed, but nothing she said was true. The timeline made absolutely no sense. She didn't even try to make it make sense. For instance, during the time she was definitely and totally being trafficked, she was appearing on the Steve Harvey show on television, which was really nice of her kidnappers to let her out for the day to be on public TV. I've got to say. What thoughtful guys. Oh, and she was also found out to be a hooker instead of a human trafficking victim, so there's that. But Timpool missed all this with his extensive background checks, of course. But let's say, in fairness, these things happened back in 2012 and 2016. So, come on, let's give him a break, eh? That was a long time ago. Well, how about the time Eliza Bleu went on a Timcast adjacent show, Michael Malice's podcast? He is a regular guest on Tim's show, where Eliza says she was sex trafficked because people made fake accounts of her on Twitter. Let's listen to that.
Trafficked on Twitter as well. So there's been 3 profiles to my knowledge that my former abusers made to traffic me on Twitter. I didn't realize because I kind of just signed up for Twitter and late 2019. So it was like one of the last few days of 2019. I signed up for Twitter.
But what does that mean that they trafficked you on Twitter? How can someone traffic you if they're not in contact with you?
Yeah, so the way that was working, I didn't know about the profiles existing because I wasn't on Twitter and I wasn't looking for them. The way that my former abusers were doing it is that it was going back to my Instagram.
How about that? That doesn't really take much of a background check to see if this person's a lunatic. So we've learned about the importance of background checks of people you want to promote. But now we should learn about dealing with the fallout of being such a laughably poor judge of character. Now, Tim took the coward's way out during the Jack Murphy saga by totally ignoring it while farming super chats. Seriously, stop super chatting people if you're angry with them, people. But this time, Tim has made another mistake. He hired someone as an editor for his website called Cassandra Fairbanks McDonald. Now, Cassandra is an ex-Bernie bro who saw the grift bucks were better on the Trump train back in 2016. But she is also Eliza Bleu's good friend, and she has been absolutely losing her mind on social media that people were turning against her friend for being a lying thought. And she has been making the situation exponentially worse for Tim, as women tend to do because they don't know when to keep their mouths shut when it would benefit them. So she has been really fanning the flames of the backlash. And of course, as a right-wing adjacent woman, she did porn before getting fat. That's a requirement to get in on the grift, by the way. And this has led to Timpool's own subreddit totally turning on him, posting pics of her pron and making photoshops about him being a cuck, which he is. A large part of the internet is laughing at him because of these two women, so Tim sides with them and starts blocking people like the quatering who have been questioning Eliza's obviously fake tale of trafficking. Pathetic. And Tim always wheels out the same excuse when things like this happen, that he doesn't do YouTube drama. He likes to focus on politics and civil war, things he knows nothing about. But that doesn't really work anymore when he was perfectly happy to host a cross-dressing YouTuber on his show so he could bitch about another YouTuber, only offering him $50 million to make unfunny content for 2 hours, does it? Sure seems like Timpool does do YouTube drama to me, so long as it's not about him facing up to some of the stupid things Timpool might have done. So yeah, fuck these people. Timpool is the worst of the right-wing grifters. He makes it seem as though he's telling you the facts, but he's always looking for the worst case scenario to fill you with dread, and consequently, for you to fill up his beanie with money. That's why he has frauds like Eliza on his show, to ramp up the hysteria. Who cares if anything they say is true? Just give him money. He's fighting for you. He's a truth seeker. And more importantly, the fact he hasn't been put in jail for life for his music is a travesty worse than anything that has ever happened in history. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to see more content like this. Thanks, boy.